the players out of contract. The big one, though, we all reacted to it after the news came out. Leon Flach. Mm-hmm. Leon is gone. Kind of bittersweet here. It's unfortunate because Leon, obviously, listen, his game was not perfect, and we all knew that. But he did some things very well out on that pitch. And unfortunately, Renee, injuries derailed his development here within the MLS. He was really great at the defense was his cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it came down to that low block. He was super tenacious as a defender. He was great in transition, especially when you're trying to play quick. But in that final third, that's really where he struggled. He just, I don't know if it was confidence or skill level. There was, I think, 2 goals where he finally did score within the box.
Yeah.
And that's something that we kind of needed more from him. But I feel for him because, again, injuries derailed him. He probably could have been staying here to this day if he didn't have these injuries. To this day. And he was getting better. He truly was getting better. And then it does appear he is looking for a return back to Europe. You guys remember we got him from St. Pauli in Bundesliga 2 back in 21. But this one hurts a little bit, Renee.
I honestly was very surprised by a few names, and Leon Flach was one of them. I know Brian Oriana in the chat, you're mentioning Orlana, you're mentioning how you'll never forget the goal against Cincinnati. Yeah, he had some great Leon Flach memories, and I agree with you. It feels like his injuries derailed him. Obviously, he missed a significant amount of time, and he was such a flexible, or has always been, such a flexible, versatile player for the Union that wherever you put him, you knew he was going to excel. Aggressive, offensive-minded, competes, very much that true, like, blue-collar, hardworking player that the Union really like to build their team around, and someone that just does all the little things. Scrappy, competing for 50-50 balls, switching the point of attack, helping in transition on both sides of the ball. So it was sad to see because there was a time that I feel like Leon Flach was one of the players I was heavily counting on for the Union as a leader, as one of their top talents, pre-injury. Mm-hmm. And then I was expecting and remembered saying, wow, I'm so excited for what his future is going to bring. He's a guy that's showing so well. He was taking major strides in such a quick time. And unfortunately, never got to see what that looked like. And then once we saw El Brujo, Jose Martinez, depart this past season, it felt like the Union were also shifting in terms of their midfield makeup. You brought in a Daly Jean-Jacques. You had El Brujo depart, and it kind of left you wondering, what does all this mean for Leon Flach? Where does he fit into this equation? So it is a little bit, it's very bittersweet, I should say. And it definitely caught me a little off guard because I kind of thought they might go one more season with him and then see from there. But it leads to the main question that I find myself often asking with Leon Flach at the midfield. What are the plans moving forward to help add to the midfield depth? Because as you shared of the list of guys that they're still figuring things out with, Leon Flach being out, but then on the other side, you have the ongoing negotiations with an Alejandro Bedoya. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's another midfielder. Of course, the back line is also in some question marks. Like, I'm not only concerned and caught off guard by some of these roster moves, but I'm also more concerned about what does this mean? Who's filling this role? What is the expectation? Is it going to be a young player, a homegrown? Who are you expecting to fill the void of some of these guys that are your depth pieces? So happy for whatever Leon Flach does next. Thankful for his time here, but wish we could have gotten more of a happier, some closure versus him just being injured at the end of this stretch and not really ever getting back to what we saw pre-injury.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point that you bring up. It just does feel like he did fall out of favor.
Yeah.
Jean-Jacques came in, and obviously he's already plugged in as your 6. Let's not forget Jesus Bueno, which that's a question mark going into next year too. He's under contract.
Yeah, another one.
But like in 23, he's finished the season really strong. And this past year, he kind of got lost in translation within the depth chart. He struggled to find the pitch. And there were moments where, especially after the Brujo sale, you would think like, okay, Bueno's going to get some more minutes. Jean-Jacques had to also get acclimated to the MLS. And it just felt like Leon got the edge over him. And then obviously Jean-Jacques really took over that role. But it just felt like the Union were ready to move on in a different direction. And for Leon Flach, I don't know how strong these rumors are. He does want to go back to Europe. But listen, we all get a little homesick, especially across the pond. So it definitely wouldn't be out of the ordinary there.
I have something I have to admit, and it's been going on for way too long, and I haven't said anything. But I have something to admit. Every time we talk about Jean-Jacques, I just think of jean jackets. Like as you were saying it, it's so sad because one half of my brain is fully thinking about soccer, and the other half of my brain is fully thinking about picturing a jean jacket.
Well, Renee,
Jacques is like, I can't.
Since Renee covers the Phillies, and we all know that the Phillies have their, their, I don't know what you would call them. Like, what would you like? The marshmallows, the jeans.
Oh, okay.
Like the fan groups out of the player. So Renee's gonna be doing that, but for Daily Jean Jacques. So you can catch her at 128. They'll be chanting Daily Jean Jacques chants. I like that for you, Renee. The Daily Jean Jackets.
I think that sounds like a great fan group.
I like that.
I like it. And they could rock jean jackets.
Yeah.
For sure. But no, I mean, it did seem like he should have been the sure shoo-in once El Brujo was out of the midfield lineup, because it felt like that's who was quote unquote taking his playing time.
Right.
But the reality is he's dropped on the depth chart. He's dropped in terms of expectations, minutes, all of that. And I do understand with him being so injured, it's also tough to count on him. So you're not going to count on him and plan for him. You want to first focus on him getting healthy, allow him to get back, and then that way you're not overwhelming him with trying to do too much. How about for Leon, just focus on being healthy and then go from there in terms of playing time and minutes and your role. So that was sad to see, but it actually wasn't my biggest surprise of all the options that I saw for these roster moves for the Union. There were a couple bigger.
Yeah. We all silly like the mayor.